I've mentioned before, but it's nice to remember, that when I was a bhakti in Los Angeles, I was once part of a painting detail team that was going in to paint the trim in Prabhupada's rooms in L.A. And we thought Prabhupada was out in the garden, his garden. And we all came in with our painting clothes, overalls, T-shirts, paint buckets, brushes, making a bunch of noise. And Prabhupada was sitting behind his desk. He wasn't outside. Oh, what is this? But so we all offered our obeisances, and the temple president, Karandar, at the time, Prabhupada had a gardenia garland, big gardenia garland, wrapped around his head about 3 or 4 times like this. It looked quite blissful. So Karandar said, Prabhupada, why do you have the garland wrapped around your neck? Anyone know what Prabhupada said? Very good for headaches. So Prabhupada was, long before aromatherapy and all of that was cool, Prabhupada was, and I get bad headaches, and it's a fact. If you have a nice rose or jasmine garland, it'll help get rid of it. Jaya Radho Madhava Kunda Bihari Jaya Radho Madhava Kunda Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivanadari Gopijana Vallabha Girivanadari Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuntira Vanatari Jamuna Tiravana Tari Jamuna Tiravana Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivanadari Jasodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamuna Tiravana Jamuna Tiravana Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Bo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Bo. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari, Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari. Jai Vishnupad Paramahansa Pariva Jigachaya Siddhadashisham, His Divine Grace of Acharan Bhakti Vedantas Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki, ISKCON BBT Founder Acharya Jagaguru Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananta Guruvashta Ki, Nam Chai Srila Haridas Thakur Ki, Prem Shikaho Shukishan Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shidweta Gadada, Shiva Siddhi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki, Say Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki, Vrindavadam Ki, Mathura Ki, Dwarka Ki, Navadidam Ki, Jagannapuridam Ki, Chamunamai Ki, Gangamai Ki, Tulsi Maharani Ki, Bhakti Devi Ki, Sambhira Bhakta Vinda Ki, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Sri Radha Giridhari Ki, Shri Krishna Sankirtana Jaga Ki, Gopremanande. All glories of the summer devotees, all glories of the summer devotees, all glories of the summer devotees, all glories of divine Lord Sita, Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Now for a little fresh air, we could open either this one or that one. If that's too cold for you guys, we can open this door. Temperature is the issue. It won't be quieter. No, it won't, because these guys are yapping. We know what we're doing. Sit down. Yeah, just sit. Too cold for you or okay? All right, then. We'll leave it at that. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Now we're on, let's see what's happening here. What is it? We're the Srimad Bhagavatam. We're at the 4th canto, isn't it? We are at chapter 13. And I believe what's on the board is 31. But I think we left off at 29. Have I got that right? What's on? Oh. Where's the board? Now, do you all have your devices? You have a book. You have a device. Anybody else got a phone or something? with the Veda base on it? Because somehow or other the Jamal's cooking and somebody spaced it out. What happened? Huh? I thought he did it last night. Where is the board? Let us do that first. Zach, where's the board? See what's on it. Oh, Balaram's already beat you to it. Utsaha. What's on the board? Does it have a number?
But maybe he forgot to change that number. That's what we did.
Yeah, 25's not where we're at. All right, so then let's scan back, because Balaram read up to 27. So let's do 28. No, he read through 28. So we'll do 29, 30, and we'll chant the Sanskrit to 31 because it has a purport. So you can tune in your devices to 4:13, 31. 4:13, 31. You got something there? Okay, great. We're in good shape. East meets West, modern technology. So I'm reading the translation. Well, maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll chant the Sanskrit to 31 just to... And it's an interesting verse. It has 5 lines, which I've rarely seen. Sadashas pataya uchu nara deveha bhavato nagam tavan manak stitam asti ekam praktanam agham yad hedrik tvam aprajaha sarasas pataya uchu naradeveha bhavato nagaham tavan manakstitam asti ekam praktanam agam yadi hedrik tvam abrajaha sudasas pataya uchu naradeveha bhavato nagaham tavan manakstitam asti ekam praktanam agam yadi hedrik tvam abrajaha sarashas pataya uchu naradeveha bhavato nagaham tvavan manaktitam asti ekam praktanam agam yadi hedrik tvam aprajaha sarashas pataya uchu naradeveha bhavato yadi hedrik tvam aprajaha yep, uchu naradeveha bhavato sarashas prataya uchu naradeveha bhavato nagam tavan manakstitam asti ekam praktanam agam yadi hedrik tvam apraja. Mataji, you want to try? I don't want to put you on the spot. Oh, okay. Next time. So, Sarasa Pataya Uchu. The head priest said, Naradeva, O king, Iha, in this life, Bhavata, you, Na, not, Agam, sinful activity, Tavat Manak, even very slight, Stitam, situated, Asti, there is, Ekam, one, Praktanam, in the previous birth, Agam, sinful activity, Yat, by which, Iha, in this life, Idrik, like this, Tvam, you, Aprajaha, without any son. So reading text 29, Maitreya explained that King Anga, after hearing the statements of the priests, was greatly aggrieved. At that time, he took permission from the priest to break his silence and inquired from all the priests who were present at the sacrificial arena. 30. King Anga addressed the priestly order. My dear priests, kindly tell me what offense I have committed. Although invited, the demigods are neither taking part in the sacrifice nor accepting their share. 31. The head priest said, O king, in this life we do not find any sinful activity, even within your mind. So you're not in the least offensive. But we can see that in your previous life you performed sinful activities, due to which, in spite of your having all qualifications, you have no son. Purport. The purpose of marrying is to beget a son, because a son is necessary to deliver his father and forefathers from any hellish condition of life in which they may be. Chanakya Pandit therefore says, Putrihinam griham shunam. Without a son, married life is simply abominable. King Anga was very pious king in this life, but because of his previous sinful activities, he could not get a son. It is concluded, therefore, that if a person does not get a son, it is due to his past sinful life. Om Ganata Mirandasya Gyana Gana Salakaya Jakshu Shunmilitan Gena Tazare Shi Gurave Namaha. The tendency of humankind is to, when things go well, who do we give the credit to? Oh, you? Who said that? Yeah, man. It's due to my intelligence, my skill, my expert planning. We take full credit. When things go wrong, what do? Yeah, we blame others, and it's God's fault. But the fact of the matter is that Krishna says in the Gita, explains very clearly, that we, and Prabhupada like this, that each of us is captain of our own fate. We're the creator of our own fate. In fact, it becomes the great mystery. If there's only one life, how do we... it's one of the reasons people become atheists. If there's only one life, how is it possible that a child is born blind and someone else is born with sight? As they say in the old hymnal, silver spoons to some mouths, golden spoons to others. Why this disparity if there's no previous life? God is just capricious? Tough luck for you. Zach, great life. Prabhu, it's going to suck for you. Balaram, great life. Prabhu, for you it's going to suck. Wow, what kind of... doesn't make any sense at all. Therefore people think, well, if there's no previous life, if there's only this one life, how is it possible? God is cruel, capricious, whimsical. So the only rational... if there is a supreme controller, there has to be something determined how we got in this condition. For what it's worth, I don't want to go too far afield, but they don't have an answer. I talked to a lot of, well, not a lot of, but certainly a number of Christian priests. They don't really have an answer. The best answer I ever got, and even that one wasn't very good, well, unless someone is born in, we become purified by acts of charity. And even Krishna says that in the Gita, charity, tapasya, these things are purifying. So unless someone is in need of charity, how can you give charity? How can we perform acts of compassion unless there's someone in need of mercy? So it's just the arrangement of this. You can't understand why. It's the arrangement of Supreme Lord, but somebody's in a difficult condition so that you can in turn become your better self and give and perform acts of charity and help them. Tough luck for the guy who happens to be the needy, but you get to be purified by the one who, and that's the best answer I ever heard, which isn't very good. So there has to be previous life, if there's a soul and if there's God. The other thing is that this tendency to blame, why are we in whatever condition we're in? The fact of the matter is, it's due to something we've done in the past. You know Radhanath, it's a simple example. Some of you have heard it before, but it's Radhanath Maharaj's magic silo example. You can sometimes, a silo for storing grains, right? You can turn the spigot at the bottom. Well, they store different crops in there according to the time. If they're growing multiple crops, sometimes they'll grow according to the season they'll store. So the farmer can be blowing corn. You can see the corn going into the silo. You can turn the spigot at the bottom and wheat or barley, let's say, will come out. Oh, it's a magic silo. Wheat's going in, corn's going in, and wheat's coming out. It's being transformed. It's a magic silo. Do we accept the magic silo theory? You want to argue against the magic silo? What happened? It's layered, it's tiered. What you put in a previous crop, he put in barley. Next crop, maybe he put in wheat. Now he's putting in corn. So what he put in earlier is coming out now. So and Rupa Goswami explains in Nectar Devotion, there's different stages of karmic reaction. But we're suffering for what we did in the past. You can't blame anybody else. It's not God's fault or fate or your genes or what. No. Man up, as they say. Stand up, take responsibility. Now, here's another thing. What to do about the whole thing? Can you, look at the time, get to the bottom of it? Does anyone know can anyone reference a famous conversation in the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, discussing about karma? Two most exalted personalities are discussing. Yes, Dharma and Mother Earth in the form of a cow. So Dharma in the form of a bull and Mother Earth in the form of a cow. And they discuss all the different causes in these. Is it the demigods? Is it the material nature? Is it with so many different things? Past karma. Krishna describes in Gita 5 different factors. Place, time, so many different factors determine the result. If I'm pitching in baseball, once that I can spin it, I can fastball, slow ball, this, that, but once it leaves my hand, whether the guy strikes out or hits a home run, I've got nothing to do with it. The wind can lift it up into the strike zone. So many things. There's so many factors. Hare Krishna. And where were we? Yeah, no, I was just thinking you'll never get to the bottom of the thing. There's so many different factors that determine the result. It's beyond there's a Chinese farmer example, which is a good one. The Chinese farmer, of course it could be any farmer, has a horse, and the horse escapes, gets out of the corral and disappears. All of his friends counsel, oh, very, very bad, very, very bad. What does the farmer say? Maybe good, maybe bad. The horse out in the forest meets a lady, gets a girlfriend, comes back to eat. All of a sudden he has 2 horses. His friends say, oh, very, very good, very, very good. Farmer says, we'll see. His young son, let's say whatever, 20-year-old son, gets on the horse, trying to break the horse so they can use it for riding and farming. Horse throws him off, breaks his leg. What do the neighbors say? Oh, very, very bad. What does our farmer say? Maybe good, maybe bad. Let's see what happens. The king's army comes through. They're drafting all the able-bodied men to go fight. The boy has a broken leg. So, neighbors say, oh, very, very good. He does not draft it. Farmer says, let's see. So it goes on and on like this. We don't know what the outcome of things will be. We take responsibility. It's not anyone else's fault. I'm not going to, like King Lear on the moor, raging my fist against the hand of God. I am where I am. What Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, do not lament the past. Do not dream of the future. Prabhupada tells a story about the young man who's going to go he has a pot of yogurt. His mother's given him a pot of yogurt. And he's going to go into the marketplace and sell a pot of yogurt. He's lying on his bed and he's dreaming about it. I'll go into town and I'll sell my yogurt. And with a profit, I'll buy some beans, some seeds. With the seeds, I'll get a good crop. With a good crop, I'll take the profit, I'll buy a bull. With a bull, I can get more profit. With more profit, I can build a nice house. When I have a nice house, he's dreaming about all this. I'm qualified to get married, and I'll have a beautiful wife. And if she ever argues with me, I'll chastise her. And in his dream, when he says, I'll bang, he hits the pot, breaks the pot, and the yogurt pours all over him. So he's dreaming in this, but the source of whatever possible, he breaks. So we don't know what the future is going to bring. We dream this, that, so many different. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, don't lament the past. What do they say, crying over spilled milk? It's not going to bring the milk back. So lamenting over the past, what can you do? That's for people in the mode of ignorance. And I'm going to do this, and I'm dreaming I'll win the lottery, and I'll have whatever, who knows? That's for people in the mode of passion. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, but deal with the present at hand, and progress you will call. So we can deal with our present situation. Whatever's happened in the past, I'm in the condition I'm in. So let me act properly now. That we have control over. Everything else, forget it. So, what is the first thing, when things weren't working out with this Jaga? What was the first thing, when it wasn't working, what did King Anga do? Didn't curse the gods or God. Didn't go into a funk of lamentation. What did he do? Who said that? He inquired from the sages. So, and Krishna describes in Bhagavad Gita what is the first step, the key to opening up knowledge. Humility. I love my father. He's passed away. He was a very good man. He loved the devotees. He did a lot of nice service for us. But he was arrogant. You wonder where it comes from? What do they say? The fruit doesn't fall far from the tree. So I remember my father, we were on some family trip, and I remember it was in Iowa Falls, Iowa. We were completely lost and couldn't figure out how to get back on the interstate. We'd Is this back in life? How did that happen? You have some magic Shakti or Janardhanji? We'd be a ship adrift without you, Janardhan. Thank you. Janardhan got the fountain working too, against all odds. So, 3 or 4 times going in a circle, little kids in the back, oh, we've gone past that building 5 times, Pops. He's getting more and more fried. My mother finally said, Robert, that was his name, Robert, we are surrounded by people who know exactly where they are. Why don't you just pull over and ask someone? My father wouldn't do it. I mean, eventually he did. But just, it's especially in the age of Kali, just to admit that we're not. One devotee said to Prabhupada, I was there, oh, Prabhupada, I'm the most fallen, I'm the most sinful, I'm the most this, I'm the most that. Prabhupada said, actually, you're not the most anything. Please sit down. Actually, we're not the most anything. I mean, you're all great devotees who've taken birth to serve Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But we should think ourselves, humility, to always feel oneself meek and humble is one of the first signs of surrender, Rupa Goswami lists. So to think that, let me ask someone who knows. There's different pramanas. Anyone know the first pramana or source of evidence for drawing conclusions? Well, this is the first one they usually list. Sense perception, which we can all shoot holes with. I can't even know what's happening to the side of this wall. What's the next source? Another source, yes. Inference, you hear from others. You hear, you draw a conclusion, But Prabhupada says 0 times 0 to the 0th power. What's it going to be? Fallible soul senses, tendency to cheat, tendency to be illusion. Multiply that. Well, and you could say, well, no, we have accumulated. We have accumulated knowledge. Come on, we're making progress. We say, well, there's birth, death, disease, and old age. You haven't conquered them. Hey, wait a minute, smallpox, which, by the way, is coming back. But hey, cancer, so many things. People would have died. I would have died. I've been dead long ago. I got a pacemaker. So we're making progress. Okay, you're making progress. The high jump used to be, in pole vaulting. I think they used to be able to pole vault like 12 feet. Anyone know what they're up to now? Somebody could Google it. Better shoes, fiberglass poles. They got up to about 14 feet. Maybe it's 18 feet. Well, that's progress. Hey, we're making progress, right? Are they ever going to be able to pole vault to the moon? What do you think? Hey, increments. We're building on past successes. We solved that problem, cured this disease. Eventually we will conquer all disease? No. They're creating disease. Doing all the weird stuff that you walk into a parking lot, says this air will cause cancer and kill you. You walk into a building. I mean, we all know the story. When I was growing up, nobody ever died from eating a peanut. Somebody can get a pair of peanut halva. Well, if you've got to go. Peanut butter halva is a good way to go on one hand, You're taking prasadam back home, back to Godhead. But, so you're not conquering. It's like a balloon. A balloon? You squeeze one end, what happens to the other end? Squeeze that in, what happens? you'll never get on top of the thing. So to inquire, Shabda Brahman, to hear from self-realized souls and hear from the Shastra, what should I do? That's intelligence. We are never, just like this king, this jaga, that jaga, so many desires, we're never going to get on top of it. We're never going to sort it out. We are surrounded. The materialist, he's got just the hard worker has so many fallible soldiers. He thinks he's going to solve it. Got a nice bank balance, got a wife, got some kids. But as we know, they're all fallible soldiers. Quite often, they turn on us. So that doesn't work. Then you've got the yogi. He thinks he's going to control it by mystic cities. But he's still got lust. They fall down. They become angry. So many different things happen. They don't solve it by mystic power. And even Brahma Samhita says you can travel at the speed of the mind. You won't even be able to touch the tip of the toe of Lord Vishnu. So the yogis, they don't get on top of it and solve things. The blunt, gross materialists don't get on top of it. The scientists, they're trying to, by the laws of physics and genetic engineering, and they figure out the bio code, the DNA code, and they're going to make the perfect man, perfect person. Forget it. Artificial intelligence, computers. You know where that's going to end up? Self-learning computers. They're getting to the point that computers can teach themselves and search the World Wide Web, and, they're going to take off. Top guy at MIT, artificial intelligence, says once the computer perfects self-learning, we're going to completely lose control. Maybe they'll keep us around, human beings, as pets. It'll all be based on efficiency. What's the most efficient? If maintaining us is efficient, well, they'll keep human beings around to do something. Fit somewhere in the biosphere. Otherwise, we're gone. That's a scary thought. There's so many scary thoughts. Devamrita Maharaj is working on a scary thought book. Oh, he's working on it. I told you. I sat down with him. We were taking prasadam in Vrindavan. Whenever I have the chance, I'll sit next to Deva. Devamrita Maharaj, sit next to Devamrita Maharaj. He will scare the bejesus out of you. Things that are actually happening in the world. Not just theory, that just, the world run amok. So nobody gets on top of it. So what to do? Throw our hands up in despair? The yogis don't have it. The materialists don't have it. The karmis, this king is a karmi. This prayashchita, this misdeed counteracted by this. I fast here. I do this. I perform this tapasya. I do this jaga. I pull the right levers and the right gears in the universe, and boom, I get what I want. No, he can't even get a son to carry on his dynasty. So the blunt materialist, the karmis performing fruitive activities, the yogis, the jnanis, the scientists, nobody's on top of it. Who's actually gotten out of this whole? There's a great description. It's the material nature is decided as a machine with so many blades. It's a hole you enter, you never come out. It's a whole section. It's Narada Muni to the Prayashchitas, explaining this material nature, which just is the original roto-rooter, which just devouring everything. This wheel of time. Who's free? Who gets out? I hope you guys have an answer. The Bhakta. And how does the Bhakta get out? By taking control? By trying to just find the loophole, the secret, the cure, the key? What Prabhupada says, it's one of those great sentences by Prabhupada. He takes a common phrase and gives it a new meaning, like brainwash. You're brainwashed. Prabhupada says, if the brain is dirty, shouldn't you wash it? Mukunda was on a radio show when someone called Prabhupada, somebody called in, "You're just a freeloader." You know, an American Protestant work ethic, you call somebody a freeloader. You know, you're just a leech. You're living off other people's hard work. You're just a freeloader. You know, Prabhupada thought, oh, I got free passage. I came to America. Free. Prabhupada said, yes, I'm a freeloader. The person who called in was so bewildered that Prabhupada willingly accepted the title. They just hung up, you know. So Prabhupada would take terms and, you know. So Arjuna was saying, in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was saying no. No to Krishna. No, I won't fight. All of his different arguments. And Prabhupada says the whole purpose of Bhagavad Gita was to turn Arjuna from a no man to a yes man. You know, and we think yes man, you know, usually means like a, what do they call a chum? What do they call like a clerk in India? Just a, like a suck up. Yeah, like a kiss up or just, you know, you're a puppet in someone's hands, you know. But on one hand, that's true. Prabhupada said, let me dance, let me be your puppet. So for the devotee, it is a huge relief, actually, trying to control this material nature. I was at the doctor's office the other day. There was a guy being weighed, and when he got on the scales, he sucked in his stomach. Is that going to make any difference in what he weighs, you know? Self-delusion. So, you know, and people with a comb over, I won't mention the name. There was somebody who used to come here, and he had one, you know, bald spot, and they comb it over. But every, you know, devotee, we bow down all the time. So it was always going, then he'd flip it back, and you'd watch, you know. Finally, his daughter and his wife told him, just cut it off, you know. But, you know, in other words, to maintain that facade against that I'm in charge, that I've, you know, the Lord of all I survey, or that I've got it together, or just, it's a huge burden that's, you know, I'm right, you're wrong, or trying to prove ourselves. It's just a huge burden that never succeeds. Everybody has to bow down. Prabhupada said everyone bows down at the time of death. You want to bow down out of love to Krishna? Great. But it's not that you're not going to have to bow down. You bow down before time. You bow down at the time of death. Everybody has to surrender. You have no choice. Shakespeare says, you stand, sans teeth, sans hair, sans eyes, sans everything. It's a great section. The whole world is a stage, and everyone plays his role. You know, we're all hauled off the stage. Time up. Enfeebled. So the devotee understands that. And we'll end here. But in the end, just to finish the storyline, what happens to King Anga? Does he get a son or not? Yes, he gets a son. Was the son good or bad? Careful what you ask for. You may get it. So he gets a son. But the son, what? His grandfather was death personified or something, you know? And it was an inauspicious line. And the boy became who? Vena. Who, you know, was... And King Anga nicely tried to train the boy. The boy would even kill his own playmates. So many things. Ultimately, what did King Anga do? Gave up everything and went to the forest. Is that a defeat? The sannyasis, I'll give you the translation. There's a mantra we pray. Of several mantras. I'll let you in on a sannyas secret. Let the sufferings of this world come. What? Everybody's trying to avoid suffering. Why do the sannyasis pray, let the sufferings of this world come? Because what will those sufferings produce if one's intelligent? Detachment. Let the sufferings of this world come. Because those sufferings breed detachment. Here we see he was trying to ride the roller coaster of material enjoyment, and ultimately it completely failed. He got a son, but the son caused complete distress. It caused detachment. So is detachment the end of the line? Are we Buddhists? Do we want to come to zero? Because that detachment is the boat that will carry us across the ocean of birth and death to your lotus feet. That's the translation of one of the mantras. Let the sufferings of this world come. Why? Because they bring detachment. Who cares for detachment? We're Buddhists. Because that detachment is the boat that carries us across the ocean of birth and death to your lotus feet. Sikshastikam, is there a verse that says this? Gimme, 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 I want, I want. What does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say? Nadanam, najanam, nasundaram. I don't want beautiful women. I don't want wealth. I don't want any of these things. And after he offers those prayers, what does he get? The holy name. So, and we'll end here, I promise. King Anga, proof of his failure, of his jaga and his past sinful activities and his not being able to pull all the levers just right to get what he wants from the material nature machine, was that the devas did not show up, right? They didn't take their share. They didn't even show up. Now, what jaga are we performing as the bhaktas, the surrendered? We've given up the whole thing. We're just serving Krishna. What jaga do we perform? Geez, help me out here, Prabhus. Sankirtan jaga. And with the Sankirtan jaga, what's the story with the devas? Yeah, they're lined up. What to speak of showing up for some jaga and taking their percentage? They are lined up to take birth in the Sankirtan mission. We don't even have to think about it. Anyone know in London, what did Prabhupada tell them to build for the arti? A Vyasasan. Prabhupada said that Lord, build a Vyasasan, an extra Vyasasan, because Narada Muni and Lord Brahma sometimes come to see the arti. And you think about it, in Kali Yuga, these malechas, polished dogs and cats, but amongst them some are becoming pure Vaishnavas. Let us go and take a look. It's like if we heard that at the zoo, there was a monkey who shaved up and had a sika and took a bath and was offering artik, chanting japa, Om Namo Bhagavate, following Hanuman, nice murti of Hanuman, offering puja. Wouldn't we want to go check it out? You think, geez, I want to go see that, you know? So Narada Muni and Lord Brahma, they come and see. So the simple point is, only the devotees get relief. Only the devotees get lasting benefit. And how do they do it? Not by struggle to conquer, but by surrender to the service of Krishna. And it is so powerful that the devas that are eluding King Anga line up to take birth in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Okay, we can end there. We're well over time, but all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna.